Welcome back to the Sid Rosenberg Show.
Do everything I can for him. He don't come home like he's supposed to. Boy, he must be out of his mind. He don't pay no bills around this house. Give him another minute, and that's it. I know where he at. I'm gonna kill him if I see him. I should have never married that white woman.
Hold it right there. Hey, you. Where are you going?
I'm going to mind my business. That's where I'm going. Do you have a problem with that, officer?
Again with the questions. What is this, Jeopardy?
No, it ain't Jeopardy. It ain't Monopoly either. And I ain't going to jail.
Freeze! Freeze!
Goddamn, you all sound like a set of bookends, man.
Put your hands on top of your head. Stop. Lean back.
I know why you stopped me. I know why. Because I'm a poor black man in a black neighborhood on a black block, and y'all just want to bust my black ass.
No. You look suspicious.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, you look suspicious, and you definitely look black. Turn around.
Your wife likes it, old bitch. Man.
We're responding to a 415 disturbance in the neighborhood. You could be coming from that disturbance. That's why we stopped you.
Man, the only disturbance is you with me. Hell, don't think I can't read no badge numbers, chump. Boyd and Bernarski.
Yeah,
whatever. I'll turn your ass in.
Okay, that's enough, okay? What's your attitude, okay, pal?
Ain't that a bitch?
Go home.
You. Officer of the goddamn law.
Go.
I'm not ready to go home.
Go home, pal.
Yeah.
Go.
You don't know you with. I'm from a small town called Fresh Off a Cop's Ass. You're making me homesick. Let me find that damn boy. He'd look like a whisk broom.
It's Sid Rosenberg on 640 Sports.
First of all, if I look a little sexier on this video, if I look thinner, if I look a little tanner, if you think I sound more intelligent, more versed on any subject in the world, it's because I got in the mail my Sid Rosenberg citizen shirt. Now, when you wear this type of shirt, it changes your life because the confidence I have right now is unbelievable. Whether it's on sports, politically, general knowledge, gambling, when I want to talk about Wall Street, I feel I am prepared. It's like taking a pill that makes you smarter and better looking. I feel that I've grown in all the right areas, if you know what I'm saying. I just got the shirt in the mail. Now, as you know, Sid Rosenberg is my buddy, is my blood, and I hold him in the highest esteem on every level. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, sexually.
Another day, I've called and never speak, and you would say nothing's changed at all, and I can't feel much hope for anything if I won't be there to catch you if you fall again. Seems we meet in the spaces
God, I love that house party scene. Oh my God, I love that movie. I could watch that. That guy who played the father, he died.
Yeah, and I forget his
Not
name
long
now,
after.
too. He was a really good stand-up
He was great.
comedian, too.
God, was he great.
His stand-up was really
His stand-up was great. And that scene.
It's so good.
So good. 7:06 on your Thursday morning. You heard the open there. That is Stu Biner's own open when he received the same shirt that you're wearing today.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, the show's gay today. I mean, you've got the
What do
red,
you mean?
You got the red citizen shirt on.
Right.
I've got my Kiss America or Kiss My Ass Sid T-shirt on. We are all adorned in Sid Rosenberg show shirts today.
Even Z-Mac.
I don't think Z-Mac is. Z-Mac never wears those
I was going to
shirts.
say, Z-Mac
Very
never
rarely.
does. It's either
Right.
a Mets, Knicks.
Right, he's got these strange shirts he buys.
Ewing,
but like no
Ewing.
faces or big heads or... Yeah, he's odd. Well, anyway, we have the shirts on today. Stu Feiner wears the shirt proudly on his website where he puts up a new video each and every week. Nobody does a better job, whether it's the Major League Baseball playoff games, whether it's the new NHL season, the start of the NBA season, just a couple of weeks away, college football or NFL. Nobody does a better job of picking the games, and certainly nobody is more entertaining than Stu Feiner, StuFeiner.com. With that said, here he is. Good morning, Stu.
Good morning, Sid. I hope you're ready to rock and roll tonight. A little late night tonight with the Mets on the West Coast, but we should take the Dodgers down. I think DeGrom has a really rock-solid game in him. I think the Mets are prepared to take the Dodgers down. I think the Dodgers lineup, if you get past the middle of their lineup, and really Gonzalez, very weak, and I think that we'll win the series in 5, and we'll see the Cubs at Citi Field Saturday and Sunday.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean, I'm afraid to even watch it. I really felt like we needed that game 4 back at home. I know DeGrom won game 1, Stu, on the road. He's proven he can win in Los Angeles. And it wasn't like the Mets didn't put guys on against Greinke in game 2. But the idea of winning in Los Angeles a 5th and deciding game, I'm very uncomfortable with that. Very uncomfortable.
Well, it's going to be a tough play, as you know. To win on the road is always tough, but the way out is the way through. So, in other words, let's disagree with the feelings, let's set free, and let's bring the Mets home, and let's play the Cubs.
What is
it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war, baby.
It would be a war. It would be a great series. The Cubs never get there. The Mets, of course, are the huge market. What is the line tonight in this Dodger-Met game?
Greinke right now sitting at $1.55, so you're going to have to lay a little better than 1.5 to 1 if you're betting the Dodgers. If you're taking the Mets, you're going to be getting back probably $1.40, so 140% to 1 on your money getting back, and I think there's extreme value here. I think the Mets are better than the Dodgers, straight up, any day, twice on Sunday, and especially tonight.
Well, especially, I mean, you get Jacob deGrom, who you can make the argument that's been as good, pretty much outside of Arrieta and those 2 Dodger pitchers the last year and a half, 2 years, as good as any pitcher in Major League Baseball, and you're getting $1.40 back. That's about a good value as you'll ever get, ever.
No, absolutely. I mean, Greinke's been unconscious at home, best ERA in Major League Baseball, and but I just think that it doesn't matter if we win 1-0 in 20 innings or we outslug them 10-9. New York will get the victory tonight. Really, really like this play.
You were at Game 4 at Citi Field, weren't you?
Yes, I was at both games. I was at Game 3 and I was at Game 4, and I'll be at every home game going out, and I might even go to Chicago during the week. So if you want to take a little vacay, you can meet me there at Wrigley.
We've already been invited to do our shows from Chicago by the great Hall of Famer Mike Ditka. On the air, said last week, anytime, Sid, you want to come to Chicago and do a show for My Fine Restaurant, you're invited. He goes, in fact, I'll even stay with you and do the show with you, even if he's got ESPN responsibility. So if the Cubs do make it to the World Series, we absolutely will be doing shows from Ditka's restaurant. And you know what? If the Mets win tonight, we'll even do that. So we'll see you on Rush Street.
Oh, that'll be awesome. What a nice run. All right, so let's get down to business here. I've been on your show 8 weeks. Thank you for having me. 6 winning weeks, only 2 losing weeks, and I've won 3 straight weeks. And last week was another 3-1 performance, headed by Nebraska covering, winning outright at home, Rutgers covering against Michigan State, and should have won the game outright. And my best bet, which was Michigan, humiliating Northwestern 38-0. So we're on a 20-win, 12-loss, 1-push tie.
Nice.
So 8 games over 500. Over 8 weeks, and let's get ready for the second half of the season. Now, first of all, you got 3 games tonight on the card. It's a big NFL card and college football card. Falcons are on the road against the Saints, Auburn on the road against Kentucky, UCLA on the road against Stanford. And Sid, I'm giving all 3 of these games tonight absolutely free to all your listeners. All they got to do is, after my spot, give me a call on my private cell. They'll get Atlanta, New Orleans, Auburn, Kentucky, and UCLA, Stanford, absolutely free. That's on my private cell. That's 516-698-8870, 516-698-8870, 516-698-8870. All right, let's get to the beefy part of the show. Here we go. My first play up is going to be Vanderbilt on the road at 4 o'clock Eastern, plus the 2.5 against South Carolina. Obviously, South Carolina loses their coach Spurrier. Then the week before that, they get displanted because of the rain delays, so they have to go to LSU and get smashed. Now in this matchup, they opened 5.5, but the game immediately got bet down to 2.5, still with 70% of the country still liking South Carolina in this game. Vanderbilt's the real sharp side. Game moved 3 points down. We'll be betting Vanderbilt plus the 2.5. They're going to beat South Carolina easily in this game. That's like stealing money. Game number 2 will be Boston College plus the 15 on the road against Clemson. Clemson comes in the number 6 team in the nation with a little steam. They're playing better. They're covering against the number right now, and they're going to look and make a run in the top 5. But in this matchup, I just don't see them covering this overlay. Game opened 17, went to 16.5, went to 16, is now down to 15. A specific line move. It's a reverse line move. It's what I talk about on the show every single week. 84% of the country is betting Clemson, only 16 betting Boston College. But I love Boston College. It's the sharp side. You take the 15, and Boston College will stay well within the number. My third bet of the night will be on Saturday again at 3:30 Eastern. It'll be Minnesota at home, minus the 2 against Nebraska. Now, we've used Nebraska for and against the last couple of weeks, and we've been very, very successful. This week, we go against them. Minnesota opened the game, pick 'em. The game went to 1, 1.5. It's now 2. It's about to go to 2.5 with over 60% of the money on Nebraska. It's the wrong money. And again, the line move is the sharp move. It's the sharp side. It's, again, a reverse line move, meaning the public bets one side, the line goes against it. That normally is sharp money betting against the public and moving a line. We're going to lay the number with Minnesota here, minus the 2 against Nebraska. Now, my best bet of the day, and Sid, this is something you have to come out of retirement for. Send someone to Vegas with $100,000. You can bet $1 million on this game. Sid, this is your retirement on Saturday. This is 100%. Not 90, not 80, not 70, 100%. And we're going back with Michigan, the number 14 team in the nation, minus 8.5 against Michigan State, the number 4 team in the nation. Now listen to this. Doesn't this smell a little funny? Michigan is ranked number 14. Michigan State is ranked number 4, but Michigan is the 8.5-point favorite in this game. And there's a ton of sharp money on this game, all smart money, all the biggest syndicates in the world. Michigan opened 6.5, went to 7, went to 7.5, went to 8. It is now 8.5. But that's all sharp money because the public is all over Michigan State. 67% of the country started betting Michigan State. As of this morning, it's up to 75%. So you only have 25% of the money on Michigan, but the line opened 6.5 and went to 8.5. A typical reverse line move, and a team that is higher ranked being favored over a lower ranked team, meaning the 14-ranked team is favored over the 4-ranked team. This game is a human lock. All you Sid listeners out there, all you citizens, make the biggest bet of your life. Change your life on Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. So your 4 winners overall, let's recap, will be Minnesota minus the 2, will be Boston College plus the 15, will be Vanderbilt plus 2.5, and my number 1 bet on the show, on my life, on my career, is Michigan to destroy Michigan State. Now, also, Sid, you can get me on my website at stewfiner.com. I do a video blog, I sell my games online, daily, weekly, monthly, seasonal packages. And also tonight, absolutely free, we're going 3-0 for all you listeners, absolutely free. NFL, Atlanta, New Orleans, college, Auburn, Kentucky, UCLA, Stanford, all 3 games free. Call me right now. I'm waiting for your call on my private cell. 516-698-8870. 516-698-8870.
Before I let you go, you like Michigan this weekend?
Take it to the bank, baby. That's a stupid lock. Hug it out, Sid. Happy New Year to all you listeners. It's Michigan. It's the Mets at StewFiner.com.
Well, how do you beat that? Michigan has really done an amazing job. I mean, you want to talk about Harbaugh, whether or not he deserves to be talked about the way he does, right? I mean, the job he did at Stanford, obviously with Andrew Luck. Then he went to San Francisco, was there for 4 years, 3 of those 4 years. Had the 49ers in consecutive seasons in the NFC title game, including 1 Super Bowl appearance. Then he goes to Michigan. They are dead, Michigan. The Wolverines are dead. He's got them 14th in the country, and they're not beating teams. They humiliated Northwestern. They humiliated BYU. So if there was any doubt as to whether or not Harbaugh was this amazing big-time coach, I believe what he's done so far this year in Ann Arbor cements the fact that he really is an unbelievable coach. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be pretty good. Is he the testy Harbaugh brother? Is he the one that?
John is the quiet one.
Okay.
He coaches the Baltimore Ravens.
So he's the feisty.
Jimmy's a maniac.
Yeah.
A maniac.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a method to his madness.
I guess so. He's been great wherever he's been. And again, this short run here at Michigan has been amazing. And I agree with Stu. I think they will beat the Spartans in one of the great rivalries to this day, Ann Arbor versus East Lansing in college football. 844-640-6464. 844-640-6464. Tamara Holder, Fox News. She's back at 7:30 this morning. Bo Dietl stopping by at 8. Chris Carlin, SNY, Mets and Dodgers. He'll be here at 8:30, plus another football guest or political guest in the 9 o'clock hour. Lots more to do. Big show. Stick around back on a busy Thursday right after this.
Okay, guys. Welcome to paradise.
Welcome back to the Sid Rosenberg Show on 640 Sports.
In many cases, the Afghan conflict has become the forgotten U.S. war. President Obama declared the end of U.S. combat operations last year.
Our combat mission in Afghanistan is over.
U.S. forces, especially air forces and special forces, have been in action supporting Afghan forces. And the Afghan government really is desperate for U.S. forces to stay. That's one of the reasons why you've not heard much condemnation of the attack on the hospital from the Afghan government. So the current U.S. endgame is to end the war and get out by the time President Obama leaves the Oval Office in January 2017. Obama's options basically are to keep to the plan, to leave 1,000 troops just protecting the U.S. Embassy in Kabul by the time he ends his presidency, or to allow a larger number of troops to stay in the country, perhaps 5,000 or 6,000, to continue to train and assist the Afghan military and to conduct counter-terrorism operations. This is not just a strategic decision for the president, it's a very political one. The central rationale of his campaign in 2008 was to get U.S. troops home from intractable foreign wars.
We can end this war in Iraq, but also end the mindset that got us into war.
He also said that the Afghan war was the right war for the United States to fight, and he pledged to win it.
We should be in Afghanistan going after al-Qaeda, not in Iraq.
It would be quite a political climb down for the president to have to decide to leave U.S. troops in Afghanistan and to pass the war on to his successor.
17 years by her side, broke the same bread, wore the same clothes, and you said we're sisters with nothing between. If one of us falls, the other will soon be following. Both of you feel the same day. You don't know why. One of you never woke up and you lay your body down on the floor. You're desperate to hear footsteps again, but this house is on fire. We need to go. Whoa, you don't have to go it alone. Go it alone. Run for your life, my love. Run and you don't give up. All that you are, all that you want, I will be close behind. Run for your life.
So, how many troops is Obama leaving in Afghanistan? Did he say? I know he's leaving them there, but how many did he say?
I think it's something around 7,500.
Right, and you say that he's doing that basically because of Iraq, right?
100%.
Well, the Afghan government wants us there, too. I mean, we blew up a damn hospital. We just blew it up. Completely our fault. We killed innocent patients and doctors and kids and women. We killed 20-something innocents because we made a mistake. And truthfully, they're not even that mad because they so desperately want the Americans there, the troops there, that they did not come out and really condemn. We were tougher on ourselves, I guess.
Not really.
Eventually, when Josh Earnest got to it, right. But then Afghanistan was at all. They're like, okay, well, sorry about that. Let's move on.
They
clean up the blood and move on.
The country's not stable, so yeah, they want to keep
it's not stable.
No, not at all. So
So here's my point on talk radio. I got to get this out. So the Democrat debate was 2 nights ago, okay? So, of course, I come on the air yesterday and I say, I think Hillary Clinton did a pretty good job. What I mean by that is she's got very good debate skills. I didn't like the content because I'm going to vote Republican, and I do think Hillary is a thieving liar. In fact, even a horrible person. But I'm able to differentiate between the lies and the content on the actual debating skills. I went over this yesterday. I'm not going to do it again. Donald Trump is a pathetic debater. He's not bad. He's all-time awful. Now, I don't care what the polls say. I don't care what Rich Stevens says. He has had 2 of the most horrendous debates I've ever seen. That's my opinion. You agree?
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And you're a Trump guy, right?
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton cleans his ass on the debate, right?
Yeah, unless he completely changes his strategy, which I don't think he's capable.
Even Josh Rogan, CNN yesterday, was like, well, we like that, though. We like the fact that he snipes at everybody and he takes shots at everybody. And, yeah, he's not a very good debater, but we like what he does. How does that make any sense? You tell me.
That it doesn't. I guess if you want to, on a debate scale, rate that as a positive, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's the only place it could come as a positive.
So here's what happened. So the Republicans are going to say this. Boy, that was a real circus last night. That was a horror show last night. Bernie Sanders wants to do everything for free. Who's going to pay for that? Me, you. I got to work my ass off. I'm losing my voice as it is. Go to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning so that Bernie Sanders can send some snot-nosed kid to college for free, which I'm going to be the one to pay for.
And the high school dropout rate is through the roof, by the way.
Lincoln Chapee is a disaster. Jim Webb was a child. Martin O'Malley, I mean...
now you went through the Republican circle. I only listened to one show. You know which show that is.
Right.
Now, was there any positives said? Because Savage had
a
lot of positives to say about Jim Webb. Far and away, he said he would even vote for Jim Webb.
Jim Webb, I like Jim Webb.
He would vote for Jim Webb, he said.
He's the most moderate of all the Democrats. And I like Jim Webb, and he's a veteran. So he deserves our respect. He sucked on stage. All he did was bitch and complain. He got no time to talk. But I love Jim Webb.
Okay, I'm just asking you what the other guy said, because I know what Savage said. I don't know about the rest of them.
It's so predictable. I put on Joyce, and she's a lot smarter than I am. I admit that. She's great at this political stuff. I could have scripted her whole show yesterday. It was so predictable and so annoying. Sean Hannity, same thing. It's like, okay, so the Republicans are up there. You're going to find a reason to tell me Donald Trump was pretty good. You're going to find a reason to tell me Marco Rubio's a greasy, backhanded, lying, no good. Like, I know exactly what you're going to say. Don't watch it. Why even watch the debate? Write the script before, because I know what you're going to say anyway. Same thing with the Democrats. I swear to God, I could have told you. I could have written word for word Joyce Kaufman's show, Sean Hannity's show, Rush Limbaugh's show. It was so, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's not good radio.
I think they're a slave to their audience. They can't turn away those hardcore Republicans.
They can't do it.
They'll lose the support.
Right, like for example, Lauren Jacobs, our buddy, who loves this show. She's as conservative as can be. She gets mad about what I say about the Democrats. I go, F you. Sorry. I'm not going to come on and tell you everything the right does is great, because it's not. And they're a circus, too. Everything the left does sucks, because it doesn't. Although I'm a fan of the right, I hope at least at the end of the day, our show is less predictable than the Joyce Kaufmans and Sean Hannity's of the world. Is that fair?
100%. I mean,
100%.
Lanny Davis was on yesterday.
Lanny Davis.
Enough said.
Right. Sent me an email last night thanking me and forwarded it to his son, Seth, saying, I know Sid votes Republican. I know Sid leans towards the right, but he brings me on and lets me talk, and that means a lot. You think any one of these other hosts I just mentioned would ever, forget about debate the day after, would ever bring Lanny Davis even on?
No.
Oh, I would never. The sound of his voice makes me want to cringe, makes me want to kill myself. Now, give me a break.
No,
just stop.
The people that tune in to Rush they're looking for a good 2 hours, 3 hours of just crushing the Democrats. Just bash. Badmouth.
Let's kick Obama's ass, which he deserves. Let's kick Clinton's ass, which she deserves. And again, I'm all for that. It's okay. But every now and then, you got to find a way. Or else, to me, you lose all credibility. You lose all credibility. If I know what you're going to say beforehand about either side and any candidate, then you have no credibility. None.
No, you're just a shill. I mean,
that's
you're
all
just
you
a
are.
shill. I mean,
That's right.
maybe that earns you a lot of money, and that keeps you, number one in the ratings and keeps you, a millionaire a few times over. But at the end of the day, like I said, Rush is just a straight shill for the Republican Party. I don't think he's ever had a problem with anything the Republican Party has ever done.
Never. The Republicans, when they duty, by the way, that's not crap. That's Godiva chocolate.
No, and
their ass smells like potpourri.
And like you rip on Bush a little bit on his second term, Savage destroys him on his second term. So he's not a right wing. Rush is literally a right wing. The Republicans cannot do wrong.
Right.
Even though they can't find a Speaker of the House, and it looks ridiculous
right.
that they can't come to the table within their own party. I mean, I'm lean towards the right, but that's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
Who are they talking about? Now that Paul Ryan said, I don't want this. Now, who are they talking
first
about?
of all, and
oh God, excuse me.
I don't believe there's ever been a speaker that.
What?
I don't.
He's making a point. I mean,
I'm sorry.
So foul.
Very good point. I apologize.
I don't believe there's ever been a speaker that's been handed the seat and said no, like Paul Ryan did.
No one. It's kind of like when.
If there is, I might be wrong, but I don't believe there is.
Bill Belichick with the Jets.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You're the
right.
coach, and he's like, one day, he's like, nah, I'm not the
Not
coach.
even one day. 30
like
minutes.
An hour.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. So that was my point about talk radio. It's gotten to the point where I don't enjoy it as much anymore because even though there are points that are made along the way that, for example, when Bernie Sanders says something or Hillary says something, and then you listen to a conservative host tell it the way it really is, there's a chance you are going to learn something. And they're lying. You will learn something. But once they make that point, which is good, then the next hour becomes predictable, boring, one-sided, agenda-driven radio.
Now, if it was Marco Rubio against Jim Webb,
right,
Savage would vote Webb.
Oh, yeah, he would. So would Joyce Kaufman.
Right. So did she say that, though?
Well, she despises Marco. She did say that yesterday.
Okay.
And she did say that she likes Jim Webb. And, again, he's a veteran. And
Rush loves Rubio.
But he didn't love Jim Webb on the stage tonight.
No. In general. In general.
Right,
he thinks as far as the Democratic candidates, which is a joke.
He's the only one that's palpable.
Right.
I agree.
In his mind.
Well, I agree with him. And most conservatives will feel that way because, again, he's somewhat moderate, Webb, and he's a vet.
And his son is a vet, too, I believe.
Right.
I believe his son is also a vet.
Yeah, I think his nephew is Richmond Webb, who played for the Dolphins, but I'm not sure.
Possible.
No, they don't look alike. I don't know.
No, but Jim Webb has actually got some crazy stories. Taking grenades, shrapnel. He's got, it really...
he was the only guy that was brave enough to say all lives matter, right?
He was the only one.
The only guy
Everybody else was Black Lives. In fact, Bo Dietl got himself in a ton of hot water on Fox last night, talking about Black Lives Matter, and he's coming on live at 8 o'clock this morning.
That's going to be good.
That's going to be
good.
great.
I mean, on the heels of what went down yesterday. Yeah.
Right. Just happened last night. So we've got Tamara Holder, Fox News, coming up next. Bo Dietl coming up at 8. Chris Carlin, SNY, on the Mets and Dodgers, coming up at 8:30. And a guest in the 9 o'clock hour as well. We'll take a short break. We're back right after this.
640's own Sid Rosenberg Show is on the air.
640 Sports.
Next tonight here, late developments on former NBA star Lamar Odom, reportedly fighting for his life after being found unconscious near Las Vegas. Former teammate Kobe Bryant leaving a game to be by his side. And here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
A grim reality tonight for former NBA player and reality show star Lamar Odom, now on life support in a Las Vegas hospital after being found unconscious.
Still alive. Ambulance came, police came. They immediately said, this is not looking good.
The county sheriff giving an update detailing the call they received Tuesday night.
During that call, the reporting parties informed the Nye County Sheriff's Office dispatch the male had been using cocaine.
TMZ Sports capturing this video of the two-time NBA champion's ambulance. The county sheriff reporting Odom, the ex-husband of Khloe Kardashian, lifted to the hospital because at 6 feet 10 inches, he was too big for the chopper. Despite their recent split, after allegations of his drug use and infidelity, Khloe and Lamar have kept in touch, as seen on this season's Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I'm really on high alert for Lamar.
Khloe, among those rushing to his side, along with her mother, her sister Kim, Kobe Bryant, and Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Apparently, the doctor says he's recovering.
Shaq sending a tweet with the hashtag, "My heart hurts," And Magic Johnson tweeting, I've been praying all morning for my good friend.
Here I am again in this mean old town, and you're so far away from me. And where are you when the sun goes down? You're so far away from me. You're so far away from me. So far I just can't see. You're so far away from me. You're so far from me.
All right, long distance dedication. My Casey Kasem moment again to Tamara Holder. She actually asked for this song. It's better than the last country music song she asked for. That guy never heard of.
I think so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Of course, this is the great Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits, and can't go wrong with them. Tamara was not here last week, but to CJ Vacca's liking, she's back today. Very talented Fox News, Sports Court. You can check those out at sportscourtmedia.com. It's our dear friend, Tamara Holder. Good morning, Tamara. How are you?
Thank you for not playing some creepy music.
No, I like Mark Knopfler. I like Dire Straits, so I was very, very happy with your selection this morning. Now, the last selection, our country guys sucked, but this one was much better, much better.
I cannot believe you would say that my friend Jamie Johnson sucked.
Yeah,
That's
sucks.
so
I mean,
rude.
just,
I don't talk about your friends.
My friends suck, too, just so you know.
Do you have any?
No. I have people who like to call themselves my friends because I'm famous, but I don't really have any friends. I have one, maybe two. Well, you're my friend, aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, there are times that you really piss me off.
Yeah, well, and there are times you really piss me off, but I still invite you back every week and still tell people I love you.
You are my friend. You're
I mean, last week you screwed me to have some. Where were you? What were you doing in the mountains by San Diego that you couldn't come on?
I was with my little sister at a spa.
Mm-hmm. At a spa.
Yeah, but then when I tell people this, they all make these comments, these really crappy comments, like, "Oh, must be nice," blah blah. And then I make them feel really bad, and I say, "Well, I haven't seen my sister since my mom passed away in June."
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, well, okay."
Yeah. Still must be nice,
So hold your comment.
Oh, it still must be nice, though. I mean, you know how sad I was when your mom passed away, and I sent you a bunch of very sincere and heartfelt messages. But sometimes we lose family members and or close friends, and we meet at the diner in a couple of months, not in Carlsbad.
Well, sometimes you're just not cool like I am.
I understand. Well, you are very, very cool.
You're not a stressed mess, and I needed to get away, or I was going to jump out of the window.
What are you so stressed about? What's the matter? What's going on? Is it Varney? Is it Sean Hannity? Is it the guy scene, New York City? What has Tamara Holder so stressed out?
All of the above.
All of it. I know. It's very, very, very stressful. I understand that. Very. And then you cover all these.
Being me. It is hard.
I understand. And then you cover all these horrible stories, like, for example, even this Lamar Odom story. I mean, on so many levels, this is a horrible story. Well, let's start right there. We played that coming in. It's the biggest story in the country today. I'm sure you covered it on Sports Court. What about this Lamar Odom story?
Yeah, well, the part actually we covered yesterday, I begged them to let me hop into the studio and do a segment, was this whole inquiry into what he was taking, herbal Viagra, because, of course, I've heard of it. I think a lot of people have maybe heard of it, but I got on the phone with the FDA. They wouldn't come on the show, but they gave me a ton of information. So...
And by the way, just so you know, I'm a guy. I've never heard of herbal Viagra ever. I'm like, well, what is that?
Yeah, well, it's really popular. I've seen it in smoke shops, and not that I don't smoke, but I've just seen it weird places. I don't know, convenience stores and things here and there. Not every single one, but a supplement is supposed to just be a botanical or herbal ingredient medicine. But then there are these tainted supplements, and what they do is they add ingredients for either diet pills, bodybuilding pills, or erectile dysfunction.
Right.
You can buy that, and they're in little packets and just pop pills But inside of those, the tainted supplements have like the active ingredient of Viagra or Cialis or whatever. It's some chemical name, and I forget what it is. But anyway, so some of them have up to 31 times the amount of what a Viagra would have.
Oh, my God, 31 times, and he took 10 of them.
It's like, who wants to be that erect?
I know. My God, a big guy like him, first of all, he's 6'10", so you know he's got a huge penis. Second of all, but he's 35 years old. Why do you think you would need, well, he was doing coke, too, so I guess that's why he needed all that extra help, right?
You know, I don't hang out in that scene. I don't hang out at brothels very often.
Right.
Or a few times a year, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty aggressive. So, but who knows what was in his system? There was a report that he was smoking crack. There was a report that he was doing blow. There was a report that he was doing these herbal Viagra.
And they also found a ton of marks on his arms. Shooting, not heroin, he may have been shooting cocaine, but we know there was cocaine in his system. The sheriff has already come out and said that from the test they did on Wednesday. So we know there's booze, coke, and these herbal Viagras, to say the least, and we know that there are marks on his arm. So the initial reports that he may have had a couple of drinks of cognac, but the Viagra killed him, doesn't seem to be the real truth.
Yeah, well, who knows? But the thing is that it can kill you. And so when I was speaking to the FDA, they were telling me these things, but you can go on to the FDA website, and this is where government, and we're not having a political conversation this morning, but when people say that government is, a waste of money, taxpayer money, get rid of the IRS, blah, 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 the FDA has tons of warnings on all kinds of substances. You can go on, you can look and see if there's a chemical, and if somebody has reacted to it, and they put the date and then the name of the chemical, and if it's an adverse reaction,
So are you telling me? You're telling me that even without the cocaine and the booze, that just doing those 10 herbal Viagras in less than 72 hours could have killed him?
It could have killed him, and they're so dangerous. And then, but the FDA doesn't have like they're all about public safety. So then it's the DEA or something that would have to go after people for selling them. But the FDA is all about, warning people, and they really do it. And I also went to the FDA website, and the one that he was allegedly taking, Erect Dragon or something, I don't know, it had already had a warning out. But who's going to go to a website and say, let me see if this ED drug has been, the FDA warns against it?
Well, let me ask you this as an attorney, and I'm going to ask Danielle the same thing. Is Dennis Hoff, my friend Dennis, who owns that one amongst the others, legal brothels in the state of Nevada? It's not Las Vegas, because prostitution is not legal in Vegas. It's legal in the state of Nevada, right outside of Las Vegas. Do you think that this could turn out to be a criminal issue if, in fact, there was drugs involved and he dies for Dennis Hoff?
Yes, and here's why. Because Lamar Odom was staying at this brothel, and so when you are staying somewhere, the keeper has a duty because it becomes your house of sorts. And so in any other instance, you don't have a duty, but he's staying there. He knows of his behavior. He had to have known that Lamar Odom was doing drugs. Other people, there are reports that they had seen him doing drugs,
right? And
then also you're selling the substance that isn't legal technically. I mean, he's not going to get charged for selling herbal Viagra, most likely. But yeah, he could, if he knew or should have known Lamar Odom was a danger to himself and he dies, he could be charged with, in my opinion, possibly, I don't know, some kind of voluntary or involuntary manslaughter.
Wow, Jesus.
Now, this is extreme. Of course, I'm not saying that he should be, but you asked a legal question, and I think that it's possible.
The whole story is so sordid, too, Tom, because anytime you involve the Kardashians with anything, and now you've got Scott Disick, who, of course, is the father of Courtney's 3 kids. He goes into rehab today. So on the heels of Lamar Odom possibly dying at this Nevada brothel, Scott goes to rehab today. Khloe is by his side. Kim is by his side. So it's such a sleazy, I mean, it's so tragic, but to end up possibly dying in a whorehouse from a drug overdose, I mean, does it get uglier than that, honestly?
It doesn't get any uglier.
No.
And it's interesting because TMZ has been kissing their butt on this story. You know, the Kardashians have been so great, blah, blah, blah. Well, the story I get from somebody who knows the Kardashians very, very, very well says that the entire time that since the breakup or separation or whatever you want to call it, Lamar has been reaching out to Khloe, and she's avoided him.
Well, she's got a new boyfriend in the NBA, and supposedly he amped up his drug use and really may have died this Sunday night, when he just saw the most recent Kardashians, when she, in fact, said, I got to keep a real eye on Lamar, because it's possible he can spiral out of control any time. Supposedly, a witness saw him watching that, and he got very, very upset.
Yeah, I'd be upset too. But of course, you can't just go stick needles in your arm and respond.
Right.
There are other ways of coping, like going to brothels.
Right. That's not the way to. Well, there you go, Eric. Write that down, just in case anything happens in your life, Eric, that you find to be stressful or may bother you. According to Tamara Holder, there are other ways to cope without going to a brothel. Okay, remember that.
Like, you know what you could do? You'd come to New York, you could hang out with me for a day,
right,
and you would be so over it, you would just be like, my life is not that bad.
Right.
This shit is bananas.
Right. And there's more stories that you covered that are ugly. Steve Sarkisian fired a couple of days ago by Pat Hayden at USC, forgetting about the bills he ran up at Washington and USC on booze when he was on recruiting trips or mornings when he was working. Turns out they say now, allegedly, he was drunk during the Arizona State game, and this has become a very, very ugly story for Steve Sarkisian and USC.
Yeah, well, I'd be drunk at the Arizona State game, too. But that's because I went to...
Now, why would you say something like that? Why is that?
Well, I went to Arizona, number one.
Right.
Number two, Arizona State is the most worthless school ever. But, especially if you went to USC, Arizona State really is a worthless school.
Yeah.
But anyway, and now I know people are really angry. I went to Arizona State, and my kid went to Arizona State. Stop talking shit. Anyway, did I have to get beat for that word?
No, I think you just let it go, to be honest with you. We don't care.
I'll pay the fine. Anyway, so what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so the lifestyle of these coaches. I've been around coaches for all of my adult career.
Right.
They drink their faces off. So they're, just like you said, the school knew about this. They knew about his behavior at Washington. There's absolutely no way that it popped up. That being said, the guy's going through a divorce. Maybe he has spiraled out of control. Just because you know about it doesn't mean it can go on and on and on and on, especially if the guys are saying it, the players.
Right.
But the interesting part of this that interests me is that he was under contract with the school. Now, also alcoholism and drug abuse is a disease. And if you go away to rehab, you're protected. You were protected. Your job is protected. So can they just rescind the contract and fire him? I don't know the answer.
Well, not for going to rehab, but if he was warned by the school and or Pat Hayden not to do something, not going to rehab necessarily, but if he was warned, hey, don't be drinking on campus, don't be drinking at games, and they've got proof that he did, then of course they can fire him. Yes, sure.
Yeah, but we don't know those things. So again, I'm not having a debate as to whether or not he should have been fired, because there are those things that we don't know. But they say, well, it sends a bad message to the kids that he's drinking and he's drunk and whatever and doing pills. I get that, but when somebody has a disease and is sick, we don't take alcoholism and drug abuse or addiction that seriously, and we just think, oh, you're a loser, you can just quit, and maybe the guy really has a problem.
Right.
I know that Matt Russell, who is with the Broncos, who got a DUI, had a problem, and the Broncos kept him. He went to rehab, and he's been sober now for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
But he had a really, really serious problem, and it took him driving into a parked cop car to go to rehab.
I would hope that Sarkisian, you're right, gets his life together, because he does suffer from a disease, and he's got it bad. And in terms of what he's got with the school, and if he can, in fact, claim what you're implying, you're not saying it's true, but there's an implication that maybe they fired him when they shouldn't have. We will find out. But I do have one more topic I want to discuss, and it's legal, and that is ESPN now does a segment timer every single week. FanDuel actually sponsors it, the Fantasy Player of the Week. Now, I do FanDuel spots on my show. I know FanDuel and DraftKings are immensely popular in the country today, and both now are in big trouble with the FBI. What is going on there?
I don't think anybody really, really knows. They're just investigating, and there's an allegation of kind of like insider trading with the guy at DraftKings had information and then won, I believe, $75,000.
I think he won $350,000 playing on the competitor's website with quote unquote inside information.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I got the number off. So, is that insider information? Because here's the thing. Insider information, as far as like the Wall Street goes, is making a trade with information that the public doesn't have based on your knowledge. So is this considered a trade? Is this a stock market? Is this a new market? We're going into territory that we've never been before. But it's just funny because forget ESPN. Let's talk about the other giant, the NFL. The NFL advertises FanDuel everywhere. I was at the Jets game a couple of weeks ago, and FanDuel was all around the whole stadium. And online, you can on NFL.com there were FanDuel ads. So who knows who's complained? Because whenever there's an investigation, it's because somebody has complained. And I have a feeling, just a feeling, that the NFL complained. Somebody else was making money off of NFL players.
And they don't like that.
And they don't like it.
Yes. Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell was the one, wasn't he?
It just smells funny.
Right.
Why are they going after these guys?
Yeah.
And the NFL doesn't let anybody else make money off their players.
I agree. Well, I will say this. You covered all of the huge topics today. You did it from a legal aspect, from an opinion aspect. I thought you were great. You were funny. We had a great 15 minutes. And with that said, I am still going to receive a multitude, a bevy of the most hateful, vitriolic emails you'll ever see about this appearance. So I purposely did not ask you about Hillary Clinton and that debate performance because I know it'll get even worse.
I thought you did a really good job.
And when you go on Varney today, is that the discussion? Hillary Clinton's debate skills?
I'm sure. He loves to have me on. He introduces me as Tamara, the liberal talking points person for Fox. And I'm like,
why do you think Hillary Clinton did such a great job? I'm just curious.
I just think that she stood out above the rest, that she proved that she knows what's going on in this country. She knows what this country needs, at least in her opinion. I'm not defending Hillary and saying I'm going to vote for Hillary. I thought she did a fine job, and she stood out above the rest. So
you don't think Bernie Sanders beat her or even was a very, very close second?
I think he did a really good job, too. And a lot of people still didn't really know about him. He introduced himself. So, yeah, both of them stood out. The other three, I mean, oh, my gosh, I was so embarrassed.
The other three was so bad. It was so bad, right? I mean, you felt bad for those guys at most of the night, right?
Well, yeah, and I met Jim Mint, Dement or whatever his name. I don't even know his name. or not Mint, Webb.
Right, Jim Webb.
Early.
Right.
I'm like, who am I talking about? Yeah, Jim Webb.
Yeah.
I met him a few months ago when his book came out and did like a speech for him, and now I can't even remember his name. And he was really good. I'm like, this guy, I like him. The other night, oh my gosh.
Awful. Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, and he was awful. Just
he fell
awful.
apart.
Yeah. No, it was tough to watch if you like Jim Webb. Anyway, you were great today. We look forward to next Thursday. We love you. We'll watch you on Varney later on today. And thanks again for a great performance. So thank you, Tamara.
Thank you, Sid. You're the best.
Yes, I am. Thank you. We'll take a short break. When we get back, Bo Dietl came under fire last night on Fox News. He'll be here to defend himself. The great Bo Dietl, right after this.